Ah yes, the original iPhone 5. A feat of engineering, so advanced for its time that people really didn't know what to do with it. And even up to this point, it's still stuck in the past. Fuck it. Half-Life.
Seems like you're running late.
Whether you like Apple or not, no one can disagree. The iPhone 5 was a banger. It was a huge step up from the iPhone 4 and it was way more powerful than anyone could have ever anticipated. And believe it or not, back then, the mobile gaming market was actually kinda good and it wasn't filled with pregnant lady getting kicked out of her house ads. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Though sadly we never really got to see the Nintendo Wii phone. The next best thing was the iPhone 5. Yeah, I know, it released all the way back in 2012, but hey, my point still remains. Believe it or not, this company called Gameloft used to release these AAA title mobile games back in the days. Yeah, AAA. Just look at this and tell me how this was released all the way back in 2010 and just did not blew the minds of the people from that era. Like, how the hell is this even possible? Now that might get you thinking. Holy crap, they used to release these games back in the days. I wonder what this company is doing nowadays. They may be innovating the market with even more AAA games, keeping the mobile gaming community alive. Porn games. They make fucking porn games. Man, talk about selling your dignity. Okay, let's just try not to think about that. Hey, look at the bright side. Before Gameloft went to shit, they gave us a bunch of games. So much so that I can't even finish all of them in just one video. I'll probably need like, I don't know, 7 to 6 hours just to compile it all together. Like, there's just so many of them. Basically, back in the days, every single major game that was released for the iPhone or even for the Android, it was made by Gameloft. Yeah, Gameloft. Believe it or not, Gameloft. EA did have some part in it, just a little bit for the NFS series, but mostly Gameloft was the king. Even Ubisoft partnered with them to make Prince of Persia. Okay, I'm getting a bit carried away. Enough about Gameloft. Let's actually talk about the iPhone 5. This little piece of persistent fucker is still running in 2025, thanks to its amazing community support and all the amazing people hosting its files and jailbreak guides online up to this date. So, that begs the question, what can you do with this thing? Like, yeah, sure, all the games and stuff you said are really great, but they're so old. How the hell am I even supposed to get them? And App Store doesn't even work, so what can I do with this thing? You jailbreak the living shit. Yes, you jailbreak it, which should be fairly easy. I mean, come on, it's an 11-year-old phone. What's the worst that could happen? Oh boy, was I wrong. I think I broke it. I think I didn't break it. Oh boy. I don't think it's automatic rebooting. Oh, wait, something's happening. Resource busy. Cannot remove such file or directory. Oh, something's happening again. This time, it should work. What the fuck? Okay, I think Helix should work. Wait, no, that's not. Oh boy. It's not even that hot. What the hell are you talking about? Kernel exploit failed. Wait, what? That's not supposed to happen, right? Wait. Oh no, oh no, oh shit. Why won't you fucking work? Why am I still getting an error? What the hell is wrong with this thing? Okay, as they say, 17 time is the charm. Please work. Please just work. Please. I have zero clue what to do. I don't know why you're not working. It works on every other video. Everyone is getting it to run. Except for me. Oh. It's... Oh, God. It's not even... God damn it. Trust me when I say that was not a good experience. Oh, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just stupid. Or I don't know. It was not a good experience. It took me like 4 days to just get it to work. I have no idea why. Well, look at the good side. We at least have a working version of iOS 6 installed on our iPhone 5. So, theoretically, we can get started by sideloading our apps. Just after we install AppSync Unified, which is required for you to like sort of sign IPAs. Apple's a kind of a dick in terms of sideloading apps. Unlike your Android, when you can just install an APK and just know that it's gonna work 100%. Apple be like, nah, you can't do that. Nah, you can't. And as you could have guessed, there were even more problems. For some reason, it just wouldn't find the repos at all. It would just throw an error. It even started gaslighting me into thinking that I wrote the repo ID wrong, which I did not, because I whipped out my old iPhone, which is already jailbroken, and I just copied everything, but it just still wouldn't work. Why are you not working? What? Since I couldn't get the repos to working, I decided I would just directly download the AppSync Debian file from the Wayback Machine, which took me a long time to find the correct working version for my iPhone. Then all that was left to do was to drag and drop the file into my internal storage, which iPhone makes really difficult because you can't access it with your normal computer. You have to use something called 3U tools. Also, did I mention that iPhone doesn't have a fucking file manager? Yeah, even nowadays it doesn't. Why? Okay, from here on out, it was as easy as just clicking on the Debian file and installing it. And after a quick respring later, here we are. We're done. AppSync's working without the repo. Only took me about, I don't know, 7 fucking hours to realize it. And now all that was left to do was to find the correct working IPA version for my iPhone 5, which is running the iOS 6. And I don't put a lot of emphasis on it, but oh boy, was it difficult to find the right working application version. Most of the times, the application just wouldn't even install, and sometimes even if it did, it would be a mess like this. Files won't work, font size won't work, resolution was messed up, and it would just crash the entire freaking device. Well, at least most of the iOS application archives were uploaded to archive.org, so it was a little bit easier than I thought it was gonna be. By the way, this is Assassin's Creed for the iPhone. And just look at this banger voice acting. Just look at it. Just listen to it.
Finally, a settlement. A good opportunity to stretch out a bit. Aleph is just ahead. My journey is coming to an end.
Also, there was a Dead Rising game for the iOS. I mean, holy crap. How cool is that? Okay, all that aside, let's take a look at some of the game love bangers that they dropped before they just lost all their dignity. This is Backstab, essentially Assassin's Creed 4, but British and, well, for the mobile. And I ain't kidding when I said this was essentially Assassin's Creed 4. This was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. The entire story, entire city, everything's there. Maybe the story isn't exactly as the original game, but still, it's a completely original story with original characters and original voice acting, just paired with the mobile visuals and, you know, overall gameplay. But essentially it is Assassin's Creed 4 for the mobile that you never got. Hell, it even had you sinking and driving pirate ships. Hell, it even have you doing parkours and killing people from the roof like a fucking assassin. You tell me that this is an Assassin's Creed. And just in case you're still not convinced, just look at this gameplay and tell me this is not Assassin's Creed 4. Tell me this is not just ripped straight out of Assassin's Creed 4. They even got their own version of Edward. Look at him. And to know that this was a game from 2011 made for a mobile device. How is that even possible? How did Gameloft even pull this off? And it just runs flawlessly. No FPS drops at a constant FPS. This is just great. This is amazing. This is mind-blowing. Also, we got Resident Evil 4. Yeah, just casually playing Resident Evil 4 on my iPhone 5. Don't mind me. Hell, this version even has the fight with Krauser and even the QuickTime events. Sadly, no knife fight though. Oh, by the way, this is not like a clone or a different story or an expansion pack or something. It's the full game, up to the very last boss fight. Give or take, it's a very cut down version, but hey, it's the entire game in 2011. Resident Evil 4 in 2011 in your goddamn phone. Damn. And yes, it even has the merchant. Also, believe it or not, there are 3 different Spider-Man games. This is the most iconic one, which has a lot of villains and has a huge story and stuff. The other two are The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which are newer ports, but this one is the most iconic one. I remember playing this when I was a kid, and oh boy, was it a joyride. It was amazing to look at this thing on my old phone, especially the iPhone 5's vibrant screen. Also, did you ever want to play Halo on your smartphone? Well, I sure as well didn't, but hey, you can't. But you know what you can? Play the next best thing. Nova 2, or the Nova series actually. The Nova series is basically GameLoft's way of saying, hey, Halo is cool, but you know what's cooler? A Halo that you can play on your phone. Hell, they even got their very own version of Master Chief. And at this point, they're not even trying to hide the fact that this is like a ripoff or a clone. But even though it's a ripoff or even a clone, it's pretty good. It's really good actually. The story is kind of similar, but not really. Again, because it's a clone, it still captures the original charm of Halo, but it's just not there. But considering it's a game from 2011 and it's made for your freaking iPhone 4, it's great. It runs great, it feels great, it plays great, it just looks amazing. And there's even a sequel to it, like Nova 3, which is really good looking, which kind of drives towards the whole Crisis looking games. But hey, then again, it's good. That's what I care about. Another very cool clone was Zombie Infection, which was a direct clone of Resident Evil 5. It's got the same slums, it's got the same aiming mechanics, it even got the same animations that you do when jumping down a platform or breaking a crate or something. It's obvious GameLoft doesn't even care at this point. We also got ourselves a Prince of Persia Warrior Within port, which, given or taken, doesn't run that well, but hey, it's the entire game on your pocket. Again, I just can't put enough emphasis on it, just how big of a deal it was back in the days. And obviously we got the Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. I mean, it's a classic. Every kid from the iPad era actually knows about this thing. It runs great, it's flawless, it's got all the levels, all the missions, it's got all the voice actings. We even had Battlefield 2 Bad Company for it. And no, it wasn't just a cut down version. It actually was the entire gaming experience of the Battlefield Bad Company 2. The entire campaign is present, and it looks phenomenal. I don't even know. I have said this way too many times in this video, that is concerning. And of course, it's not a console quality gaming experience if you don't have Need for Speed, which we did. Had a lot of them actually, but the most iconic one was the Need for Speed Most Wanted. No, not the 2005 one. This version is a bit different. It was based over the 2012 version, but it was a completely different game. Still had the original licensed cars and stuff, but hey, what can you expect? It looked really good though. I can't exaggerate it enough. It looks really good. Or maybe I'm just, just hanging over with the past. I don't know. To me, it still looks really good and it still holds up to this date. And sure, we had GTA, but one game that I really love from my childhood is Gangster Miami Vindication, and it was not actually a GTA ripoff. It followed along the same premise, but it was totally different, trust me, which actually went on to becoming GameLoft's one of the most successful games. Gangster Vegas. I don't know, maybe you've seen the ads or heard about it. Not only that, GameLoft actually managed to snag IPs like Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, even the Rainbow Six Vanguard, which was not the original Rainbow Six that we know today, but it was something back in the days, which is phenomenal to me. Because how? Just tell me how you go on from creating something like this to that. How? Now let's talk about what we all have been waiting for. Half-Life on the iPhone 5. How does it run? It runs flawlessly. Actually, it runs too good. I didn't expect it to run this good. However, for it to run like this, I had to go through a lot of issues. A lot of them. Firstly, it was to find the right version of X-3D for this version of iOS. Like I said, it's a pain in the ass to find the correct version. And there were a lot of files, but I just couldn't find the right one until I stumbled across a GitHub page talking about another GitHub page from which I found a Reddit link which talked about another GitHub repository. Inside of that repository there was another link for the old version of Xhash 3D, in which you couldn't find the actual link for the actual repository. Over there was a link for the iOS only ports, where you would find two different CPU architectures, and one of them luckily worked. Even still, the game felt like it was about to just break apart and crash my entire system. The particle systems just didn't work, the entire geometry was messed up, the textures wouldn't properly load, and the game would just freeze on places where it's supposed to go forward. It just was a mess overall. I just couldn't find the working files for this specific Xhash 3D version. However, after a bit more searching, and by a bit more I mean 2 more hours, I did manage to find a working version. Oh boy, it works now. Everything's fine, the controls work, the graphics looks fine, and it runs at full speed, and no more texture or particle issues. It just runs great. Well, overall, that concludes my video. It's still amazing to see how well old hardware holds up against the test of time. It just feels like this phone deserves so much more than it got, and I feel like the Android or even the iOS or the mobile gaming market could have been really good if some people didn't just completely rip it off and just completely give up on it. But still, it's just great to see these old titles running flawlessly on this old smartphone. And to be honest, you can't even run these games on like newer platforms. I mean, yeah, Half-Life will, but these older Android games, Gameloft titles or EA titles, these won't run on your newer devices. The only way to run them is via the iPhone 5, not even the 5S or the 6, because those just don't run on like the same CPU architecture. They don't support 32-bit applications, and these applications, yeah, they're stuck in 32-bit. Apple's kind of a day, like I said, yeah. There's so many other titles that I didn't even get the chance to touch. Like, trust me, it's a rabbit hole. Once you just look at it, you just can't help but go deeper and deeper into it. And I would love to make a full fleshed out video about this, all the titles of these old retro games or all of these things. I would love to talk about them, but the video is already too long and I'm really not sure if anyone's gonna watch the video anyway. So yeah, anyways, if you like the video, leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more of these weird stuff, me doing my weird shenanigans with my weird old phone collection, then leave a subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.